Good morning. Yes, it is morning. And what better time to review whiskey than in the morning after work? Um, I am just putting up a video now that I recorded last week of the Glengarry Founders Reserve, which I am enjoying quite a bit. But last weekend I went, and since I had a very good week, I ended up going to one store, buying a bottle of scotch and a bottle of rye. And then I went to another store in search of, I was in search of a Speyside whiskey, but I ended up getting a Highland, which seems to be the case most of the time. Every time I go looking for a Speyside, I end up buying a Highland, and of course a rye. So I was looking initially for a Clynelish, but there was no Clynelish. However, at one store I was given a taste of a 21-year-old Clynelish, which was from the Scotch Whisky Society Independent Bottling, and it was really nice. I enjoyed that a lot. And so then I went to, is that light wrong or what? Probably very wrong. It's making the shadow go across my eye from the, okay, maybe this works. Where was I? Oh yeah. So I was looking for some Clynelish, couldn't find it, got a taste of some, almost bought a bottle of Lismore 18, but maybe another time. What I ended up buying was some Jura Prophecy, not Prophecy, Superstition. Prophecy was a lot more expensive. And I did enjoy the Jura Elixir last spring, so I ended up buying the Jura Superstition. I also, at the other store, when I went looking for something else, I think I was looking for a Speyside. Did I mention that before? And the Speyside I was looking for was some Balvenie Doublewood. I had the Balvenie single barrel last spring also and enjoyed that a lot. And I thought, okay, the Doublewood, I guess I'll chance a little bit of sherry. But that was not to be because this caught my eye. This is an Edradour. It is a distillery edition, 10 years old. And I was curious about the Edradour because I had tried their peated version at the whiskey festival called the Balachin. But I forget what it tasted like because I had tasted so many whiskeys that time. Edradour is a small distillery. There's only 3 people working there. They don't produce a lot of whiskey, but it says it's rare because of the small amount that they actually do produce. So before going for the Jura Superstition, the Jura Superstition, I'm going to try the Edradour Distillers Edition. And here we are. Nice plain bottle, natural color, whiskey of rare distinction, and ta-da, there you go. Okay, now let's see if I can open this thing. I'm usually kind of clunky when it comes to this part. And this here is another tube for my collection back there. Yeah, my collection back there. Let's see now. Oh, look, it has one of those little triangular things that you can just stick your fingernail into. Come on. Okay, gotcha. Pull that out of there, just like that. And here we've got a nice wood-topped cork. It says on it, Scotland's smallest distillery, established 1825. Well, which one is the smallest, really? There's some pretty small ones, but if there's only 3 people working there, not the loudest pop, but it popped. And I'm already getting little whiffs of it. Let's get a substantial glass, just the right amount. Oh, it's a little bit dark. It's golden brown, a little reddish. Did it say no color added? Natural color. So yeah, looks like there's a bit of sherry in there. Highland single malt Scotch whiskey, handmade in Scotland's smallest distillery. Well, okay, let's pop that cork back on there, and let's go towards the sniffing and guzzling. Or let's nose it first and then take a sip and taste it. Ah. I'm getting fruits. Sherry, but not overpowering. It's bottled at 40%, so it's watered down quite considerably from the cask strength. Been getting a lot of Highland whiskies lately with 40%, so there's no need to add any water to this. It should open up by itself just fine. I'm smelling some fruit. I'm smelling nuts, almonds, burnt almonds, roasted almonds. Roasted almonds, sherry. Raisins, yeah, a little bit of raisin. I'm also getting plums. My mother used to make these plum dumplings. They're like a Slovenian specialty. And these plum dumplings, I'm smelling the same plums that were in Mom's dumplings. Bit of apple juice. There's a hint of apple juice in there too. You know, with a complex whiskey, you can go on and on and on and find all kinds of things. Every time you take a sniff, you're going to find something different because it changes as it's sitting in the glass and oxidizing. It's one of the beauties of Scotch. Yeah, I'm getting more of that plum and apple fruitiness. Oh, that has a heavenly smell. Let's, I can't wait. Let's taste it. It has a surprisingly watery mouthfeel. It doesn't feel oily at all. I'm getting some more of that apple cinnamon in the taste. Let's try again. Yeah, light body, apple, cinnamon. This is a good whiskey to start with, to wet your whistle, to get, yeah, there's that kind of appley aftertaste, apple and slight cinnamon, like the Applejack cereal. It's just like the Applejack cereal. And light, not very heavy feeling at all. It goes down like water. But there's a little bit of complexity to it. I must admit that I expected a little more flavor after the nose. But you know something? The bottle always has a chance of improving as it goes from this level here down to about there. there's usually improvement until you hit the 2/3 mark, and then it kind of stalls. At the 2/3 consumed mark, it stalls out, and it starts losing its flavor, typically in my experience. Not so far so good. Yeah, I'm going to use this one as my first dram to move on to other things like the Glengarry, which is a heavy, strong, powerful, spicy. This one's delicate. This is light. I would almost go so far as to say it's like a lowland. It's like a lowland whiskey. It's as light as oxidation or the one that was on the border there. Not Tomatin. Well, Tomatin was pretty light too. I forget the name of it. It's the southernmost Highland whiskey, or it's a lot like it. The name will escape me as soon as I stop recording, right? Anyways, sláinte.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.
Food Quig.